Voice and camera test. If anyone can see me or hear me, please tell me. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Good evening. Shawn, are you here?
Adene. Hello, a very good evening. I bid to all the participants of today's webinar. For a little introduction, my name is Shawn. I am from Wilayah Persekutuan Labuan and I am your moderator for today. So before we get this webinar up and going, I would like to introduce our Penceramah for today, which is Miss Lim Yiet. So Miss Lim is a teacher or a lecturer at College Tingkatan 6 Tapah, and her experience in teaching maths is 32 years. So, as we get started, Miss Lim shall take the floor.
Hello everyone. Now, one moment, let me share the screen again. All right. So, hello everyone. I am Miss Lim from Teacher Im channel. I'm also a teacher in College Tingkatan 6 Tapah. If any of you know me, you have been in my channel. If not, you better be. Okay, so I'm here. I'm given 2 hours, but please set in mind. May I know how many students here? How many students? Is there? Can I see some hands? Cool. Because I'm not here to teach you today, but I'm here to help you not losing marks. Okay, so the teaching part, maybe I will run through some questions. Have you got my question? Yes or no? You tell me in the chat box, because I have already given the questions to your teacher. Yes. So most of it is old questions. Then you will say, Shawn, can you please put it in the Telegram, because some of them didn't get it yet. So now you can get it from your teacher if you want. So I'm here to help so that you don't lose marks, but I'm not here to teach. Okay? So anything that I mention and you don't understand, please take the notes. Later I will give it to Shawn, the PDF notes. You can ask your teacher. Okay? Anyway, it's a partial question. Some people will say oh, the partial questions are so old, it might not come out for me. Darling, the partial questions are almost the same, okay? Like your exam question, but yours might be a bit better. And you know why? Because you are now, we are now in the KBAT world. Later I will talk about it. Okay, so let's start. So I'm here to talk about this paper, and I'm here to help you to complete your steps. I'm here to minimize your error. I'm here to correct your notation. I'm here to help you not to misinterpret any question anymore. And I'm here to help you see some of the calculation mistake that you have been losing marks. Okay? So, we are here. Sem 1 already passed. I hope you are in the situation of flying colors. Your marks is good. But in Sem 2, might be tedious. Whatever you see in the sample paper, you can get it from your teacher. The sample paper you can get from MPM website. So according to the sample papers, we have this 6 chapter. Is very near to exam already. I'm sure you know what are the chapters. We have around 8 to 12 marks question inside this sample paper. So the formulas, of course, you should know already by now what is given and what is not given. So the one given is integration, 4 formulas, Maclaurin, all these 5 formulas. And we have the numerical methods. We have from Newton-Raphson, trapezium rule, and Simpson rule, which means the rest are not given. You have to memorize. Okay? Small, big formulas, all put them in your head, then it's going to be okay. You have to start to memorize from now, because it is only a few days away for exam, right? Now, when you look at the report from MPM, SEM 2 paper is very scary. I'm showing is like 2023, your seniors paper, and they only have 40.29 people passing. And in 2024, there is only 51.41 have full pass. Bear in mind, your senior have project paper. You don't have. So if they have project paper and that is their passing marks, I hope you are prepared already for the exam. Okay, I hope you are. All the formulas in your head already. Now, why this thing happen in the exam? Students, they know the knowledge, but the exam technique, the way you write the answer is no longer like SPM. SEM 1, you got your result. Was it beautiful? Was it good? If the SEM 1, your result is good, means the way you write the paper, the way you write the answer is good. But if not, then you are bleeding marks. Why you are bleeding marks? Because there are things in the paper that you know, because you studied for one SEM. Of course, the math knowledge is all inside your brain. You tried your best already. But sometimes you lose mark at small places. For example, missing notation. You use the wrong notation or you have missing notation. Incomplete verification or implicit assumptions. Means you assume the pemeriksa know you are writing what, but unfortunately, nobody knows. For examiners, if you don't write them in the paper, it does not exist in the mind. Means whatever you want to do, you have to tell the pemeriksa you are doing it. If not, pemeriksa don't know. And pemeriksa will assume, you just assume that it happened only. So please make sure write in the paper the details that you need to write. Don't jump step. Okay? Now, we have a few things that will give you marks. Of course, it's the knowledge, where you fill in the formulas, you do the work correctly. Okay, so your knowledge, when you fill in, you get marks. Then you also have marks for your skill and the method. That is the place where students lose a lot of marks. Because when there are steps that when you don't have the method, the value accuracy also will disappear. So which means if you jump some steps and then that steps actually carries marks, bye-bye your A. All right? Bye-bye your value or accuracy answer marks. Then, of course, the diagram. In this semester, our diagram are all sketch. Sketch in Form 6 is very beautiful, nice sketch. It is not like, I have the shape, it's correct. It must be in the correct quadrant. It must have all the details that we need. So the diagram is a perfect diagram, although we name it sketch, but it is supposed to be perfect. Okay, so later I will tell you how to perfect it. Now, what can you lose marks? You have, and for all this, except for MRQ, we can minus you 2 marks per question. So what is DEA? Too early approximation, where your degree of accuracy, when the question say 2 decimal places or 5 significant feature or 4 decimal places, you don't follow. Or you do too many decimal places or too few decimal places, that you will lose mark. Then we have NEW, where you have no essential working. That's what I mentioned to you just now. Not enough working, especially with question prove or show. Yeah, students, they we have proof question, and the question is like the answers is there. So they just do a few steps, then whoa, proven or shown. Baby, cannot. Okay, all these cannot. You have to like make sure every step is shown. Do not jump step until you get the answer. So if you jump step, especially the proof or shown part, I'm sorry, your marks will be deducted.
There are some participants who raised up their hands.
Who raised up hands, put down hand? Because just now you raised up hand, didn't put down.
If there is any questions, you can put it in the question box. I will later read it one by one for my turn.
Yes, you got question. You just tell Shawn, and I will also be looking at the chat box if there is any. Okay, if you have any question, you just tell. All right. I continue. Where am I? Oh, misreading of question. Oh, death penalty, death penalty. You misread the question. Every time when you do the question, before, especially when you read the question already, there is an equation. When you copy the equation, please look again. Okay, make sure you don't miss any negative. You don't miss any values. Okay, you don't miss any. Sometimes there is a big equation there, and then suddenly at the side there got minus n. You don't miss that also. So misreading of question, M and D marks can be awarded. Maybe if you do the question already, okay, you copy the question and the question is wrong, but when you do the steps, you get marks. Okay, you get your method marks. And if, let's say, if your diagram maybe got relevant when you sketch it, maybe you get some marks. But most of the time, misreading a question is a very, very dangerous work. So double check before you start. Then you have NW and WP, not well presented work. Answer which contains too few or too many decimal places, or candidate work is like poorly presented. Now, when I say poorly presented means if you like mess up all your work in like one lump sum like that, especially the chapter differential equation, and Maclaurin series, you know your equations are very, very long. So when you do the time, let's say if you got like very long, don't go and like cram them up all together. Put some space in between them so that the pemeriksa can actually see your work nicely. Okay, especially those with nice, beautiful, tiny beanie, big or tiny beanie, or very, very special handwriting. Please write neatly. Okay, then you have SOS. Some of you sometimes when you do your work the time, you will be predicting, oh, maybe got this answer can, maybe that answer can. See other solution means you have more than one answer. When you have two answers, the pemeriksa will mark both the answer. But we can minus 1 or 2 marks from your answer. So, and then we will give you award you the better solution marks. So it's okay to do 2 answers, but you get minus marks. You do 2 means you don't know which one. So we definitely will say like, this one agak punya cannot. Okay. So these are the things that we will minus marks from you. And for clever students, maybe that is the reason your A minus for Sem 1. Maybe think about it. Okay, so you know the place that they can minus marks already. Try to avoid them. All this, try to avoid. All right. So MPM state very clearly. Carry out complete calculation. This book can be downloaded from the MPM website. You can go there, you download this book. Inside there got sample question. Then got all the things that you need to know about the SEM, the 3 SEM. And of course, they already list out the things that they are looking for a student. And one of them is complete calculation. So you have to make sure whatever you do, it has to be complete. Means every step show. Now, what are we expecting from Sem 2 paper? Now, if you look at the sample papers that they give you, I will definitely say HOTS question. HOTS means is what? High order thinking skills. Yes. You cannot be expecting question from like chapter 1, only chapter 1. You will not be like having chapter 2 question, only chapter 2. We are looking at the situation where they are going to mix and match. I'm sure your teacher already given you some sample question or some trial papers. There's a lot of trial papers out there already. Your teacher would have given you that. And in there are a lot of mix and match. For example, integration plus trapezium rule, right? So you will be expecting like Sem 1 details come into Sem 2. Also might happen. And you can also see question like partial fraction. So that was not in the syllabus of Sem 1, but it is used in the syllabus of Sem 2. So you need to learn about it. Okay? So we are expecting hot question, really, really hot one. And please be prepared, well prepared. Now, high frequency trap zone in term 2. Number 1, the formulation from the words. So let's say if they have some sentence or some words like cooling, because in your syllabus, formulas are given, the equations are given. But inside the equation, there might be things that you need or answers are the numbers are given, but they might use the word like cooling or volume or rate of change. So those words, you must know what they meant. Okay? Number 2 is integration by parts. Students always have problems when doing the algebraic collapse. So you have to be very careful. Afterwards, I show you, yeah? And then you have the algebraic ratio of limits, means you throw away the limits too early. So when you do chapter 1 the time limit, so you throw them away too early, then you will have problem. Then the notation. Your integration got plus C, and sometimes you forgot to write the plus C. Or maybe your Maclaurin series got ... you forgot about it. So these are the place that most of the time, not I say one, I read from the report. It's all inside the report. You can also download the report, but you don't have time to read. You need to study for your STPM. So I already read and I already set in for you. Okay? So common decoder words. The word hence. If the question got the word hence, and if you just keep on going or you do the steps following your choice, means you didn't use the previous answer. When they use the word hence in the question, must through the exact previous result. Means you must use the previous result to answer the question, not redo the question again. Restarting from scratch will give you 0 marks. So be careful about that. Next one is the word show. Substitute values to verify the end result. Nope, that is not the style in Form 6. Must display the intermediate variation of steps. Means when they ask you to show something, you must have the step. Backward substitution is also rejected. So you cannot like do from the left-hand side, you move on, or maybe from the answer that they give, you try to adjust to become the previous, also cannot. Okay, next is the word evaluate. Provide a decimal answer via calculator. Whenever they say evaluate, it requires exact mathematic form. Okay, for example, ln 2. You cannot write in decimal places. You must put it in exact value form. Okay, and then we have the sketch. Just now I mentioned already. Just draw an ugly sketch without anything, just the picture only without any label. Nope. The shape alone is insufficient. Must be explicitly labeled all asymptote, all intercept, all turning point. Later I will talk more about it. Now, let's enter the chapter. So I will talk about limit. What come out from the limit? Not I say punya, all this from the report. So we have in limit, you will have a lot of questions from here. Many questions. The one that I put on top is the top one. So intermediate form always come out. So you must know what is called intermediate form. So these are the format of intermediate form. If you don't know, you need to learn about it, or you ask your teacher. 0/0 means when you have the equation and when you put in the number, you will get the answer 0/0, or when you put in the number, you get the answer infinity over infinity. Even you have case like 0 times infinity, or you have case like 1 power of infinity. Examples I put here. So if you want to screenshot, you can screenshot because you are using your computer or your handphone. So this is the format that you need to do intermediate technique. Okay, so how? I have no time to teach you. Your teacher would have taught you. Then you also have providing continuity from piecewise function. They give you piecewise function and they ask you to either find some numbers from the continuity, or they expect you to set in the proof continuity. So you must know the steps. Okay. Then you have questions on conjugates, means limit question, and they give you different pattern of square root. Okay, so you must know which type can use conjugate to solve, which type cannot. And of course, the last one, which also come out a lot, is question with modulus. Now, where are the place where all the students lose a lot of marks? Yes, I have limit. Dropping limit before substituting value means you do your limits, and then before you are in the process of simplifying the limit, or maybe adding conjugate, or maybe making it factorizing it, and then your limit disappear before the number go in. That is where MPM say many years, many students made that mistake. Then factorize failure. You do not know how to factorize because you are very familiar with your calculator. Yes. So you could not factorize. Then you also will lose a lot of marks. Then the next place where you can lose mark is the continuity proof. For proving of continuity, please remember, proving of continuity got how many parts? Chat box, type me some answers. Got how many parts? Just tell me how many parts only. One part? Do you only do the left hand side? Right hand side? There is how many parts for proving of continuity? Nobody want to answer me? 3 parts, 2 parts. See? Now, you remember, proving of continuity. So I say 2 parts, I say 3. Is 3 parts. You want to prove continuity, there are 3 parts. You want to prove exist, there are 2 parts. Okay? So the third part of proving of continuity is you must write this F equals to A. Later we see examples here. Okay? So 3 parts, 3 parts, don't make mistake. Okay, come, let's have some questions. Lately, in 2024, 2025 paper, you notice they love exponent. Actually, whenever you get limit question like this, don't be scared, don't be scared. Oh, the exponent so big, why got so many things one? I don't know if I got typo or not. I think there might be a typo, but never mind. You just remember, whenever you have something with exponent or any indices or any fraction, please try and factorize it. Always ask yourself first, can this function be factorized? Always ask yourself. If it can be factorized, you factorize. Okay? If it can be factorized, you factorize. I think the square is supposed to be here. So it's a typo. Please take note, the square is supposed to be here. So if there is a mistake, let me adjust to that. So the square is there. So you make sure if it can be factorized, you factorize. After you factorize, then you simplify. Okay? Must show correct cancellation. Talk about cancellation. Don't potong, Don't go and cut so nicely. Whatever you cut, later you lose marks for it. So you know it is a factorization. Just factorize it nicely. All right? Just factorize it. Okay, so I'm not going to show you how to do this, but I just want to mention, just now I say this one is all the simplifying part, right? Then when you put in the number, so now you already simplify until you cannot simplify already. When you put in the number, make sure you fill in the number. When you fill in the number, the limit will disappear. Okay, when you fill in the number, the limit will disappear. When the limit disappear, then only you calculate. Then here, if you don't show the zero, you cannot potong marka, right? So you must show the part with the zero. Okay, so let me adjust the, where is my paper? Okay, let me adjust that for a while first. Never mind lah, don't waste time. Don't waste time. Okay, next, the answer, of course. Right, so the red color one, whatever I put in the red one, you must make sure, you have to make sure you know. All right, so don't miss any of it. Okay, let's see. Next. If you don't understand anything, just ask.
Madam, there is a question here from Muhammad Uthman.
Okay.
He is always confused. When do we need to do conjugates for the limits?
Okay, later. Give me a minute. Right. So here I ask, do you need to do conjugate for this one? Do you need to do conjugate? No. Yes. No. This question, no need conjugate. So when only you need to do conjugate? So you need to do conjugate to the question. Okay. You need to do conjugate to the question when the situation is you have one square root and then you got one number or anything, and any element, then you need to do square root. Tak kisah inside here, they give you anything. They can give you x minus 2. They can give you anything here. So if you have like this, or you got a fraction minus a, and then down there maybe got 2x minus 1 like that, this type you need to do conjugate. Means every time you see a square root with something, you need to do conjugate. But if you see like this question like this, there is no, they don't actually have minus something. If this question got like plus 7 like that, then let's say inside here they got plus 7. Means there is something else behind, was the square root plus something, then you need to do conjugate. Okay? All right. So I cannot teach you. So sorry, because I don't have time. I still got a lot to talk about. So for this question, most of you know already, you don't need to do conjugate. So when you don't need to do conjugate, this question you need to solve by dividing by the highest power of denominator, or you can like settle like this. Okay, but in this question there is a trap, right? There is a trap. The trap is the negative. Take note of the infinity, negative or positive, or 0 to the left or 0 to the right, or number to the left or to the right. You have to be very careful, because after you factorize out, square root, square root of 4 got plus minus 2. So your square root actually has 2 answers. So when you bring it out, write modulus to it, and you have 2 answers to that. So when you identify that you want the negative infinity, then you have to choose the negative answer. So from here, you work your answer. So when you work on your answer, like I say, if you put in the number already, like this one, 5 over infinity is 0. You have to show the 0, okay, before you write the final answer. All this red one, when you receive my PDF later, then you please look at all these details, the red color one. Those are the place where students always lose their marks. Okay, so I'm going to the next one, the one that I say modulus. So this question asks if fx it exists. Means the question already tell you that it exists. Find the value of n. Means if they tell you it exists already, you can straight away use this. You can straight away put the equation into the left-hand side and right-hand side. However, this question, both the left-hand side and right-hand side, is kind of complicated. So I decide that I'm going to take them one by one. So I'm going to kill them one by one. So the left-hand side is the left-hand side of 1, means I'm using this formula. Then I ask, this formula, the power on top is very big, the power bottom is can factorize or not? Always can factorize or not? Factorize. Factorize already, then you already simplify everything, then only you put in the number. When you put in the number, what happened? Limit disappear. As long as you not yet put in the number, your limit cannot disappear. Okay, so left-hand side ready. I'm doing the right-hand side. The right-hand side is using this formula. And this formula, if the equation they give is simple, you put together and you do, no problem. But if they give you complicated equation like this, I suggest you separate them. Okay, I suggest you separate them. So this question, the killer part is the modulus. Here, they put 1 plus, meaning you want the right-hand side. Then when you from the modulus there, you choose is a negative. Why? Because you want a number on the right-hand side. Okay? You want a number on the right-hand side. So you cannot choose plus. If you choose plus, the number is going to be on the left-hand side. You can test yourself. All right? So you choose the negative value where you can transform the number to the right-hand side. Now, once you get that, you simplify, then only you get the right-hand side equation. So if the equation is simple, you don't need to separate and do. I separate and do because I feel that this is susah sikit. If I put together, I got like 2 sides, one side short, one side long like that. But it's up to you actually. It's up to you. So now I know already, okay, left hand, since the question say exists already, means this sudah betul, I need to put them together. So just now I got 2 answers, right? So I put them together, I solve the end. But you can do together, I separate only because I feel that I want to show you like left-hand side got what and right-hand side got what. I'm killing 2 birds at one time so that I don't need to type too many questions. Naughty teacher. All right, now, next. If fx is continuous at x equals to 1, determine the value of m. So now, inside the questions, they say if fx is continuous, means they already tell you it is continuous. When they already tell you it is continuous, just now I say got 3 parts, means these 3 parts also can. Now, when I choose the equation, because my first part is this one, my second part, of course, I already got the answer also is n. I will need to choose 1 and use here. But the F1, I have to put there. This one, very important. Okay? So once I choose this, because you can choose the right-hand side, no problem. You also got 2, because 1 plus 1. But bear in mind, this is an unknown. If let's say here, you tiba-tiba calculate the wrong answer, this one wrong, susah. Okay, but cannot be wrong because they already say left-hand side equals to right-hand side, means you got 2 and 2. So it's up to you to use left-hand side or right-hand side. So I use the 2, the left-hand side, and I put in, and then I calculate my answer. Okay, when you calculate your answer, you must show the factorization. You cannot use your calculator. And then, boom, come out the answer. The factorization must write. If not, they can minus you marks. Okay? Be careful about that. Right, now, talking about proving just now. Okay, talking about proving. So, as we see, your proving, you need to prove 3 parts. And most of the time, students only prove left-hand side equals to right-hand side. This only prove that the equation exists. Okay, the limit exists. But if you want to prove that the limit is continuous, you need to write the FA, means you got 3 parts. Okay, so you have to tell if you want to prove of continuity, you must prove that the function exists, then on the limit exists, then only prove that the FA exists. So I have question like this. So if the question says show limit exists, you cannot put them together. You have to separate. Left-hand side do first, right-hand side do first, then only put them together like this. Okay, so I will put like once I put in the number, my limit disappear, nampak? As long as the number is not in, don't lose this symbol. Next is the answer. Okay, this one is simple one, no problem. Then I prove the right-hand side. Make sure if they ask you to prove, then you have to do separate. If they say already exists, you can put together. Just now the question I separate because both part also complicated. So I separate to like save any of careless mistake. Okay. All right. This one need to conjugate. Do you need conjugate here? This type need conjugate? Yes, need. Yes, clever, very clever. Right, so this question need conjugate because they have one part which got square root, the other parts are numbers. So you need the conjugate. So you put in your conjugate already. Remember, when you do the conjugate the time, the one without partner, this one, no partner one, copy only, right? Conjugate, how to see? Conjugate, see the place where they are in the center. I'm sure your teacher teach you already. Means if the question, this part here, so this part here, so the conjugate must be opposite. So if here is negative, so here is positive. Same thing, copy twice, but change the plus minus between the square root and the number or whatever. I say number, they can give you anything one, they can give you anything. So kebetulan this question is a number, so between the square root and the number. Okay? Then after that, when the top one, no partner because it's like a different one, then you have to just copy. Okay, they are different, so just copy. The one that is with partner, usually you just copy the one in the square root, bring down, and then the number you multiply, means 1 minus multiply by 1. If you got 2 multiply by 2, so you write the number, but in front confirm is negative because the partner one positive, one negative. Okay, so that one your teacher would have taught you. So once you get that the time, you need to like simplify. So 1 minus 1, that's gone. So your XX, just simplify, don't cut, just simplify. And then you put in the number. Remember, you must put in the kosong. Have to show the kosong, the zero. You all can see my cursor, right? The zero. I forgot to change rate. So this question asks to show, which means you cannot put them left equals to right do together. You have to separate. Left hand side do first, right hand side do next, and then only you put them together. Then only you tell the pemeriksa, therefore limit exists. Okay, remember that. If they already tell you exist, you can put them together. Don't follow like what I did just now, because just now the equation is complicated. That's why I put them separate. But if they already tell you exist, no need to separate, can do together. But if they ask you to show exist, you must separate. I think your teacher would have told you many, many times. Now, in question B, they ask for determine whether fx is continuous. They didn't tell you it's continuous. They ask you, is it continuous? So when they ask you, is it continuous? Please tell them the limit exists first. Although A, you already do, right? So you just tell them, oh, limit exists. Therefore, take your answer, find this F0, make sure you write it, and then this symbol very important, not equals to, because they are different. Then you will make a conclusion. You can say is not continuous, or you can say is discontinuous. Okay? Because they are different. If it is equal, then you say it's continuous. But this question is not continuous. 2 marks only. Now, next. In your syllabus, after discontinuous already, they will ask you what type of discontinuity. You got these 3 types. Which type is this? You have to find out. Okay? If you don't know about this discontinuity, which type of discontinuity, you need to find out. There are this removable, jump, or essential. Which type is it? Make sure you know. Okay? If you don't know, please find out. Because in your new syllabus, they talk about discontinuity and the type of discontinuity. Right? Can I move to differentiation? If all clear, put thumbs up, put thumbs up. Yay, good, good, good. Right, so I move to differentiation. All good, eh? Okay. Differentiation. So what actually come out for differentiation? Differentiation, first of that, I put there with Maclaurin series, because differentiation in Maclaurin series, you kena buat banyak kali. So differentiation can kawin dengan Maclaurin series. So if kena kawin dengan Maclaurin series, you make sure you know how to differentiate and expand. Master the setup, differentiation formula not given at all. Okay, so every formula you need to memorize. Watch out, don't forget the dy dx when you are doing implicit differentiation. This one, very kesian one. Every time when you differentiate, you forgot about the y dy dx, very kesian. Oh, you know differentiation and the working very long. And when you do for Maclaurins, you got so many steps. And then when you differentiate the first one, you already forgot the y. So kesian. So be careful that whenever you see the differentiation is melibatkan implicit, I always tell my student, differentiate implicitly. Yes, teacher will the recording on this lesson be shared. I don't know, because I'm only the tukang baca. You have to ask.
The recording will be on YouTube for JPTEK Kebangsaan. So if you want to refer back to this recording, you will need to go there.
Yes, you go to YouTube you go to their YouTube. Okay, teach.
For a lot of experience, Amit.
Yeah. All right. Next one is second most important one is how to do implicit and how to do parametric. parametric differentiation, always come out. Then is the stationary point and the inflection point, that is the graphing, always come out. And lastly is the rate of change and optimization. Actually, I say this also useless one. Most of the things will come out, study all, okay? Okay, the key, define variables before forming. Means here, you rate of change and optimization, usually the details from the story, please take out first before you start your work, okay? Then stationary point, inflection point, all have to write. Don't forget about the graphing, because graphing every year also come out, okay? So far, they love graphing because can give a lot of marks. So bear in mind. Now, where differentiation people hilang marka? The intact, the chain rule, the implicit rule. So which means the formula lah. The formula salah, or you do chain rule salah, you do implicit salah, you do parametric salah, then salah lo. Okay? Missing chain, you square the time, you forget to put the square where, you open the time, you set in carelessly. So please don't do those kind of mistake. And the incomplete inflection. This one, when the students do the the sketching of the graph, there is already got a part that you don't do your inflection point. So you always have to check your inflection point. My question to you, let's say you do d cubed y, because d inflection point, you d squared y over dx squared is equals to 0. Then d cubed y over dx cubed cannot be 0. Then you say, your teacher inflection point. But what if one time you kena d cubed y over dx cubed is equals to 0? You macam mana mau check? Do you know? No time already, I tell you. Go and do neighborhood tests on dy dx. Okay, means you find your d squared y over dx squared equals to 0. You get the number already. Then you test it with neighborhood test. Okay? If not, I don't tell you afterwards to wait for answer. I get no time to finish all. Right, so then, of course, your dy dx, implicit dropping brackets. So the setup, this one you can be careful because this type of careless mistake will cost you a lot of marks. Okay, you got equation like this one over here in 2025. You look at the question, so many parts with the implicit. When you differentiate the time, don't forget the y. Okay. All right, this one is for the rate of change. So you will get the equation, the question like the length of elastic is stretched at the rate of this. They tell you, but when you look at the keyword, the keyword is stretch. Stretch means getting longer. So whatever you have here that they give you, it is a positive. Another keyword like this, water is leaking. Leaking maksudnya apa? Tut keluar already means getting less. So when you take the answer, the keyword, the time, this part here, when you write the equation, it must be a negative. Fire is spreading, getting a lot, then you will need to have plus, meaning your answer is here is not answer. The one that the number that you are using is positive. Ice cube melted. They give you melted at the rate of this. So when you do the time, you have to put negative. So when you copy down the question, the time, make it negative. Don't misinterpret. Always, when you do the question, the time, always look at the keywords inside the question. Always search for keywords. Come. 2015, you got such a big question. So I'm sorry for those who didn't get the paper. I don't know why you didn't get, but I already passed through the teacher group. So I hope, and I already gave Shawn. I hope Shawn already put in Google Drive. And then it's supposed to be, the link supposed to put here. decreasing rate and increasing rate. Yes. So you must know whether it's increasing, decreasing, all this. You have to read carefully. All right. So I'm not going to read that. So I'm just going for the keywords. Right square base. So which means the base is there. First question, show the volume of water. Where is the water? They already draw. Means this pyramid terbalik. Bottom there empty. The base here is right square base. Okay, can you see it? Now, so I already sketched it out. Most of the time, this type of question, you try to sketch it out a bit lah. Okay, depth of the tank. Can see the changing of color. Okay, that is where the place can contain water. So they ask you to show answer given to you. You have to put in the steps. Anything that you want to use inside your question, you can write on the diagram or you can write let. You have to tell the pemeriksa what you are using. Tiba-tiba this X and Y come out, nobody knows. Okay? Don't expect pemeriksa to know you are doing what. Remember, do not expect the pemeriksa, oh, I'm sure this one is X, this one is no sure one. You either have to put them inside the diagram that you draw. Not the question paper. The pemeriksa never get your question paper. You do on your answer paper, your X and Y. Or you write clearly, tell the pemeriksa what is your X, what is your Y. No one to write so long, use shorter words also can. As long as the pemeriksa know you are doing what. So that is my water. The depth is 9 meter. So that is around there. And then when I calculate the time, I'm using this part here to help me calculate. So once I get that the time, so I already adjust, so you know already. So they want the volume. So this volume formula you get from your Form 5 one, right? So that also you need to memorize. So all the surface area, volume of all pyramid, sphere, whatever you learn in your Form 5, please memorize. Okay? Please memorize. Now, the volume of water, you use the Form 5 formula, use this, and you set in first. So that is the triangle that I say I want to use just now. From the diagram, you tell the pemeriksa from my diagram, I got X and Y there. So I'm using X over 6, and then the base is 12 over 15. Then I get my X. Finish. I will go for another one, and I get my Y. Okay, so I put in the X, and then I set in my Y. Okay, So now my X and Y is ready. I want to prove this, so you have to make sure the volume formula is in with all your X and Y filled in. So my X and Y is already in. Just a moment, I drink water a bit. Sudah cakap 1 jam. Okay, so my X and Y already put in. So when kembang the time, be careful. Don't have any careless mistake. So make sure you kembang carefully or you set in carefully. And then voila, proof. Okay, then when they ask you to show, tolonglah letak shown. All steps shown, final answer must exactly, the word exactly like the question. Means if you get the answer not yet same like the question, you don't go and write show. Okay? Nanti kena potong markah. So make sure everything that you set in, even kembang, you kembang carefully, even tolak, you tunjuk tolak, then you won't make mistake. Like here, you say, oh, you here got power of terus I write shown. Tak boleh. You have to kembang dulu. Then only you write, you get exactly same, then only you write shown. Okay? Make sure, proving question paling ada jawapan, but paling senang hilang markah. That's the scary part of it. Yes,
Miss, I have a question.
sure.
For me, usually if shown, I usually write bracket with QED instead of shown. Is that allowed?
Yeah, you can do that as long as you get this answer and you want to write shown. If they ask prove, you write proven. Boleh, no problem. That is small matter. It's the method you write the answer. Okay, the method you write the answer. Okay, rate in which the depth is increasing. So for this question, they say increasing means the depth of water is 3, but it is increasing. So be careful when you do the time, you must know increasing means positive. Okay. So they want rate in which the depth is increasing. So the depth just now is H, right? They gave it is H. So when the depth is H already, you must know what is the other things that you need to do during the chain rule. This is just now I say, because people make mistake or no. So you have to choose carefully what is given, which you already have inside the question just now to get the chain rule. Okay, so I have my V. So I do DVDH. Then I put in my number and then I answer the question. Water is pumped into the tank at a constant rate. This rate, increasing rate. Okay, so I have my DVDT. Then I set in carefully and voila. If the question give you unit, your answer also tolong ada unit. If the question give you unit, like for example 3 meter, if no unit is still okay, but already got 3 meter or height or minute, please use back whatever they give you. And don't use like here volume is meter squared. Your here is height, you also meter squared cube like that. Wrong. Okay, so please careful with what unit you put in also. Right, calculate the time taken to fill up the tank. So they want to fill up. Just now I say the water is atas bukan bawah. So be careful. The H is 9. Always check after you get whatever you have already. After you get everything already, always check if you answer the question. So you get this is a volume, but the question say calculate the time taken. So calculate the time then, and time unit is minute. Okay, so always double check your question if you are answering the question or not. Boleh? Okay. Next, about this sketch. Students always thought a sketch is just biasa-biasa punya thing. But a sketch have a lot of details. The x-axis, the y-axis, the asymptote, the intersection point, messy line that cross the asymptote, score 0 for shape. Label the intersection point. If there is an intersection point, if there is an inflection point, whatever the question asks you to calculate, please put in the sketch. Explicitly mention if, let's say, they ask you to calculate the maximum point. Make sure in your graph have the points, okay? And if they ask you for asymptote, please make sure got asymptote. One more thing. If you have asymptote, you have to make sure that your graph, okay, you can see my cursor, right? Don't, when the pemeriksa like put a ruler or draw the line the time, make sure langsung tak ada cross that asymptote. If your graph got curved a bit, like got cangkuk naik atas a bit, touch the thing, be careful. Akan potong markah. So if there is an asymptote, make sure your graph is like selari with the asymptote. Okay? So don't go and like have curve. Like sometimes you itchy hand, you draw already, go in, curve go inside or curve go outside. Tak mau. Okay, no curve. Always is like baseline, selari sahaja if asymptote. Coordinates also, make sure is at the correct point. All right. Question I give, this one is already factorized for you. If it is not factorized for you, you have to factorize yourself. Okay? Cannot use calculator to factorize this type. Okay? So this type, when you get the question, always check if it can be factorized or not, or can you do long division or not. You make sure you break the equation to make it usable for your sketch. Okay? Now, once you get it already, I'm doing the asymptote first. So I take both the one that I already factorized, I settle the asymptote. So asymptote, chapter 1, so your teacher should have taught you how to do all these asymptotes. So I'm not going to teach you why it becomes positive infinity or why it becomes negative infinity. When you have your asymptote already, you have to mention whether it is a vertical asymptote or a horizontal asymptote. Tell the pemeriksa. If not, the pemeriksa tak tahu. Okay? You have to tell them. Then, of course, I will go for another asymptote, and then that's my horizontal asymptote. So I give you a shortcut here to see the horizontal asymptote. Of course, you got plenty of calculation, different type of calculation to get the asymptote. So your teacher would have taught you that. Right. Now, when you do horizontal asymptote, or you have to know whether it is a 0 plus or 0 negative. I hope your teacher teach you that already. If you don't know, go and learn. All right, because this later I show you why. Because most of the time you calculate already, you get 0. You do not know whether it's a 0 plus or 0 negative. Then when you draw the asymptote, the time you don't know your graph is go where. Okay, so you must know. Okay, and next one, the equation of the curve, find the points. If they say find the points, you make sure coordinate come out. Asymptote must do limit. I say asymptote can do any method. That correct method, bukan hantam-hantam method. Any method that your teacher teach you how to find asymptote pun boleh. I use limit because I later I show you why I love limit. Because limit can tell you where the asymptote, where the graph go. That's why I teach my student, I love to use limit. Okay? You can use any method. No problem. Now, must make sure when you must mention when you calculate when the y-intercept or the x-intercept, please tell the pemeriksa also. And then when you fill in, please make the pemeriksa see you fill in also. Okay, so you must indicate about the intersection. When the intersect at y-axis, x equals to 0, tell the pemeriksa fill in, get the coordinate because they want points. Here, the curve intersect at x-axis, y equals to 0. Tell the pemeriksa, put the 0 there. Then calculate the points. Both intercept must be written clearly. Bukan hantam-hantam. Then some people say, teacher, can I put in table or not? I don't like to do so many. I put in table. If the marks, basically we look at the marks. If the marks is like a bit only, put in table lah, because you save time. Okay? But if the marks is a lot for sketching of graph, sometimes you get 3 marks. Hantam je lah. Not hantam means put table lah, correct method lah. Not hantam means apapun tak ada, tiba-tiba ada gambar lah. So when you want to put in the coordinates, the time, if the marks is a lot, make sure you write everything. Tell the pemeriksa you are doing what. But if from the sketch, later I have one question, the sketch is like 3 marks only, then you do the table type, no problem. Understand? Okay, next, they say the equation of curve, they say determine the turning points of the curve and state the nature. Baca soalan bagi habis. They say turning points and then they want the nature. So you do your differentiation, your teacher teach you already, then blah, 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 you do all, then you get the coordinates. This only you do you get the coordinates, right? Then Let's say if you need to use this formula, please remember, write clearly the number. Sub the formula inside here, what is your B, what is your A, sub already, then only press calculator. Because most of the time, students straight away press calculator, then the X and Y, the X value or the Y value come out already. Dangerous. Okay? So if you need to use the formula, make sure use the formula, fill in clearly. Next, they ask you turning point and state the nature. So you got two jobs to do here. Turning point just now we find already. Nature. You can use neighborhood test, which is the one that you see here, or you can use second derivative test. But when you jawab, you answer the question at the time, if it is a turning, because they mention the point, nature mentioned together. Okay? You have to have one pair. Don't anggap you do the neighborhood test already, then tiba-tiba minimum point. But where is the point? Tak tahu. Okay? So for neighborhood test, you can put like less than 0 or negative. So here I didn't put. So here less than 0. So here can be less than 0, or you can write positive on the neighborhood test. You also will get marks. If you use second derivative, which this question I don't use second derivative, I use neighborhood test. If you use second derivative, you have to show whether it's bigger than 0 or less than 0 before you do the conclusion. So here, you have to show the pemeriksaan. If like this is d squared 1, oh, pemeriksaan no one, this one is bigger than 0. No, you have to tell the pemeriksaan, oh, this number is bigger than 0, therefore my coordinate, you write like the coordinate there is a minimum point like that. Okay, you have to tell, you have to show this. All right, if not, buta-buta your markah, bye-bye sayonara. Understand? Good? Okay, let me show you why I love limit. Okay, I plot in my asymptote first. Then I plot in my coordinate. Every asymptote and coordinate that you can find inside your question, you also need to plot in. So I plot in all my coordinates already. Okay, so already got intersection point, got one minimum point, here another intersection point and one maximum point. I put I ready that points first. Next, just now I got limit ma. So from -1 from the right hand side, I get positive infinity. See what I draw up there? I put from right hand side of -1, I got positive infinity. -1 left hand side, I get negative infinity. So from the left hand side of -1, see I draw the arrow going down, means I get negative infinity. Then I have negative 2 from the right hand side, I get positive infinity. So I draw a going up. Need to go faster already. And I have from the right hand side, I got negative infinity. So my arrow is going down. And then just now got 0, right? So the 0 is positive, means my arrow is on top. And finally is the negative limit going to the negative infinity. I got 0, negative. My arrow is there. When I have all this ready, bim bim bum bum, my graph come out already. No matter they give you how canggih punya graph, if you know how to play with the limit, you will know where the graph go. You have all the details, your shape will not be wrong. Like this one, all this must be selari with the asymptote. Okay? This is sketching. Then all the labels, you have to label your axis, you have to name the graph, like what graph is it? If not, no name also not complete. Okay, so you label everything, the asymptote, the coordinates. So just now they ask you for the coordinates of minimum and maximum. Make sure you relabel and write clearly. So you got intersection point, so you label 1 there. I got intersection point, so I label 3 there. Must label to get the full marks. Okay? Okay. Do you know about your new syllabus? The new syllabus got oblique asymptote. So if let's say you don't know, go and find out. Okay, go and find out. I cannot teach. I got no time to teach. I can tell you what details you cannot miss marks, but I got no time to teach. So here in your new syllabus, you got oblique asymptote. Please find out what is it about if you don't know. Okay? Go for integration. Now, integration, what is favorite? Area, volume, of course, is favorite lah. Then the substituting method, integration by parts, partial fraction, and lastly, integration can mix with in the numerical methods. You got trapezium rule and you got Simpson rule, which you need to do integration. I don't know, but that is things that they can mix and match. Of course, trapezium rule itself, no integration. Simpson rule itself, no integration, but the question can ask into the integration. Okay, they can like increase the level of the question by comparing or ask you to evaluate or ask you to prove. Okay, so they can mix into the numerical method. So these are the favorite one, of course, is area and volume. Right. Mana salah? No plus C. You integrate already, you forgot about the plus C. A lot of marks gone. Or if it is a substituting question, and then when you substitute the time, you still, you integrate already this number, they give is X mark. Then you do substituting method, you already change the element to U, but you still write here is the X value. Reject. Lose marks. Then, of course, you choose the wrong U to create your integration by parts, lose mark. Integration, the great trap is the equation itself. So when you see the equation, if the numerator and denominator same, or numerator big, denominator, the power is smaller, make sure you have to double think already. Can you do integration, long division or partial fraction? Please take note. And then, of course, the last one is the area. You don't know where the area they want to calculate. You don't know the volume want to spin where. That also a lot of marks gone. Okay? So, every time when you get your question for integration, double check. Need to do long division or not. The key is if the numerator degree is bigger and equals to, most of the time is long division first. Okay, long division 2 first. You get the fraction already, then only go and settle the question. Don't integrate with when the numerical, the numerator is bigger than the degree of the denominator. Cannot integrate yet. Okay? Can I? Now, integration, you have to like analyze the integration because integration got many types. So you have like which type use what, you must know. Multiply, use what. Divide also, divide actually got many styles. You can do partial, you can do long division, you can integration by parts. And then the trigonometry one. All these formulas you must remember. So forgetting to eliminate the X problem, letting you already, then the number you still use X problem, attempting direct without changing the trigonometry problem. So all these you have to be careful. Your teacher sudah ajar. Look back and redo the question your teacher teach. Okay, so these three, be careful. Rational, by parts, and using trigo. Okay, so do carefully. Okay, I do one question for trigo. So this question, I have two parts here. Means both of them are different. So most probably this is by parts. By parts have a formula. So you must know the formula. Some teacher teach ILATE. Some teacher teach LIATE. No matter what also, just make sure one side can differentiate, the other side can integrate. So this one, I think your teacher would have told you. This is for you to choose the U. Okay, for you to choose the U. Okay. So choose the correct U and then set in. Which one easier to differentiate? Put there. Which one easier to integrate? Put here. Okay? So, tak kisahlah dia bagi you use ILATE or LIATE, you will have two sides. People prefer ILATE. Depends on your case. So I'm not going to teach you how to integrate that or differentiate that. So that is the answer over there. You can check it out. Of course, these have formula inside the formula list. So make sure you know what is inside your formula list. Then when you take the formula, when you put in the time, this part always students forget. Because inside here, they write their UV only inside for the formula. This UV need to come together with these two. Okay? So when you do the time, please make sure you don't forget these two things. And of course, here you need to integrate, right? So once you get that ready, make sure for integration, whenever you have to fill in the number, you please write in the number, right? Don't straight away press calculator. Please don't straight away press calculator. Okay, so you do, and then you notice still cannot solve, so you do another time. And then put in the how to integrate. I got no time to teach you. So let's say if you use substituting, like here I use substituting method, right? I substitute my U is this one already because I want to solve this. I need to use substituting method, which I did here. Then when I use substituting method the time, you be careful with your number. So your x from 0 already turned, when you put inside the du, it already turns to different number. So make sure the different number is there. Okay, so when you substitute the time. And then let's say, like here, suppose when you integrate, suppose that the number at the bottom supposed to be small, the number on top supposed to be big. You cannot solve this already. Take the negative, tukar tempat. Change, if positive means you put negative lah. If got negative, then you change tempat lah. Okay, so the place will become positive. Whatever can solve or can eliminate, you eliminate. Like here, because I got negative here, so I tukar tempat. If I don't have a negative, I have to put the negative because I want to tukar these two tempat. Okay, this one from 5 teacher teach you before already one. Takut lupa, I remind. Right, finish already. I'm going to do the substituting again. So I put in blah, 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 and then I solve, then I show. Because this question asks you to show, man. Okay. Now, about this question, STPM 2025, there are some things that I want to talk about here. So they gave you then point of intersection. 2 marks only, you nampak. So put them together, blah, blah, blah. You solve the 2 marks. But careful. 2 marks also got trapped. They get 2 coordinates already. See, here they say the domain say x must be bigger than 0. If you find the y for both, you sudah salah. They only want x bigger than 0. So you just take x equals to 4 and you fill in and then the point of intersection. Because determine the point of intersection between the straight line and the curve, write down for x bigger than 0 only. Okay, only. Anyway, inside the question also got give you is point, P-O-I-N-T, no S. Okay, so keywords is always inside the question, 2 marks only. Next. Sketch the straight line and the curve on the same. Tengok, 2025, 2 marks only. I want to do like just now so many things, man. No. If it is 2 marks only, go simple. You don't need to fill in like this. Too much pressure. This for straight line. So I do the table only. Okay? We multiply y. What's the question? Can we multiply the y for the second equation and equate with the first? Yeah. Do whichever your teacher teach you. And do whichever, because for 2 marks only, you don't want a lot of work. Okay, you don't want a lot of work. So make sure, but all the details must be in. For example, asymptote lah. Got cara senang buat asymptote, cara susah buat asymptote, and also the domain also you need to remember. Okay, the domain bigger than 0, so one of the asymptote you should ignore. Vertical asymptote. So set in, tell the pemeriksa clearly the point of intersection is what, and then bingo, your graph. But when you draw your graph the time for this question, because the domain is bigger than 0, whatever you draw, don't cross this 0 line. Careful. 2 marks only pun akan hilang punya. Okay? 2 marks only pun akan hilang. This is what I told you. Just now I gave you one with a lot of marks one. So that one I need a lot of details. But this one is only 2 marks. The details also have to be there, but not much. You don't need to show everything. You just use whatever the simplest one but the asymptote still is there. You have to mention. Then if they give you the domain, you have to make sure this graph don't cross that domain. Cross already, kena potong markah. Okay? Label the coordinates and the asymptote, simple coordinates. Done. 2 marks only also can lose marks, so be careful. Be careful. You don't want to fail again. This SEM, don't fail, because if those who already need to repeat SEM 1, don't repeat SEM 2. You study for 1 SEM also, you feel so torturing already. You imagine you want to study for 3 SEM, because your exam is all together at the end of the year. Don't repeat SEM 2. These few weeks, ulun kau punya. Okay, ulun kau. Okay, next, area. Now, when you talk about this area, please read the question carefully. The area of the region bounded by the curve, straight line, and y-axis, give your answer in exact value. Okay, so when you do this question at the time, this is the part for the curve. You have this. Then, you see when you find this part here, okay, area you can do to the y-axis or to the x-axis, but here is easier to the x-axis. So I differentiate to the x-axis. So I have, when I do differentiate to the x-axis, I have another area here which I need to minus. Then I want to talk about here. They say, oh, with the y-axis means I have another area here. So which means I have to add the area there. Okay? So when I have all the areas already, then I will think, oh, this one, the degree of the numerator and the denominator is same. Same, I need to do long division. Or if nasib baik is just long division. If tak nasib baik is partial fraction. Okay? So pray to your God. Make sure you get the easier one. All right, so settle already, solve, put in the number. Don't forget, I keep on repeating. Ini tempat yang paling banyak orang hilang markah. Keep on repeating. You just imagine if satu soalan you press calculator, you didn't have this, you kena tolak markah. Dalam chapter ni ada berapa tempat yang ada macam ini? How many marks you will lose? Okay, so just remember that. Put in, bling, 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 siap. But my question is, this question, you can take from here and straight away press calculator and get the number from your calculator or not in decimal places. Yes or no? Answer? No. Yes. Good. Somebody already typed there, exact value. Because this question say exact value, just now I told you already, exact value, you should not press the calculator. How to know leh? Teacher, how to know leh? Question tell you exact value. So you cannot press calculator, you have to solve. But if the question want the answer in decimal places, pergilah press calculator. Maybe they say, oh, answer in 2 decimal places. When they say answer in 2 decimal places, make sure your answer is in 4 significant feature dulu sebelum you buat 2 decimal places. Okay, jangan stop straight away to conclusion. Okay, careful about the exact value. So exact value comes in the format of ln lah, come in the format of exponent lah, fraction lah, pi lah, all these kind of things. So you have to be careful about exact value, this thing. Okay? Next one, if press calculator tak ada markah, tak harap. They want exact value. Kena penalize, kena potong markah lah. No, bukan kosong terus lah kan. Okay, next, volume. Volume, they already say they want the y-axis. I always tell my student, if they already mention dia mau mana, straight away at the tempat itu buat satu besar-besar punya ini. Okay, straight away put. Why must straight away put? Because if you don't put, after you calculate all the other things, then you forget already you want to integrate where. So y-axis is and the bounded area. See carefully the question, curve and the line here. So which means this question, you only need to solve the integration for the curve. That line sudah tak ada guna because they want from here, the circulation from here to this y 12/5 because they mentioned that. So you only need this blue line and the purple line and this y-axis line. So you solve. Whether you want to use what method to solve is up to you. So I already break it out. Okay, so you put in the numbers and then again they want exact value. So you can solve lah. Why use sub method, partial, long division, up to you. So you make sure get it correct. Okay, so it's up to you when you get but because of the power, you need to solve it first. Okay, differential equation. I still got half an hour more. Never mind. Careless mistake in differential equation. So differential equation come out is the transformation, substitution. Second one is real world modeling. Then third one is integrating factor. So integrating factor wash out for implicit. Pure separatable. So this one you have to, it's like a favorite already. Avoid the algebraic. Means you do the substitution, the time be careful. Okay. So all this you can read when you get my paper. Then what are the mistakes? Please remember your integration factor. When you do the time, be careful. Set carefully. Integration by parts. Make sure you choose carefully. The boundaries, condition, make sure you know and set carefully. Okay. Keywords, when you get the question, is like you must know where is eliminate, proportion, infusion, all these keywords from the question paper, because differential equation, you got application question. All these keywords, you have to be careful. Cool lah, decrease lah, grow lah, multiply lah, increase lah, decay lah, drains lah, dies lah, spread lah. All this you must know is a plus or a minus. If tak tahu, go and find out. Okay? I got not enough time already. Integrating factor got a lot of steps. So when you do the integrating factor the time, follow the step. Every step also must show. The P have to write clearly. The integrating factor must write clearly. When you multiply, the time must write clearly. When you integrate already, remember to plus C. Because when they do already, all the step correct, final answer no plus C. Then kena minus marks. Okay, this plus C, not I say one, MPM keep on repeating, the students forget to plus C. But when you plus C, the time you remember is plus C at the final answer, not plus C when you are doing your integrating factor. Okay, when integrating factor, then no plus C. This one needs to remember. Okay, I'm going to run this question very fast. So they already told you the substituting that you are going to go is this W. So you set in. Because here, x plus 2y is different. The second part is different. So make sure you adjust first before you put in. Okay, adjust first. From the question, adjust look exactly the same, then only put in. Okay, W is what? Differentiate. Every substitution method also need to differentiate one. Okay. Then if you got number, then you need to change the number. Like here, no number, then just differentiate. Differentiate already, adjust until you get exactly the question. Then you put them together. And then you need to know whether your equation is separatable or non-separatable for this type of question. Okay, so I'm not going to like run through the steps. You can read yourself, but I need to remind you that every time you differentiate, if it involves implicit, please do the implicit part, because that is a place where students lose a lot of marks. They forgot about the implicit. Okay, so I'm going to run through this one very fast because they ask you to show, so you show. Okay, here, hence. Hence, find the particular solution. So if they say hence, you cannot do another way. You must follow up from the previous answer. Okay, so you will use the previous answer, you follow up, and then solve the question. I got no time for you, so solve already because this one is particular solution. So you put in already, then write, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so your particular solution. This part here must show, some students, they just press the calculator and write C is what. So you put in the number. Okay, must show the working. Okay. Substituting, the trap is sometimes they give you the number, you need to adjust. So just now I show you how to adjust already. Okay, another substituting. So I have this because differentiate first, set in, then your differential equation, adjust, go inside. If you have trigonometry, make sure your trigonometry is in the format of basic trigonometry, sine and cos. Okay, and then of course got y, you need to be careful means you are going to like do implicit later, so put in carefully and set in. 7 marks question. Then after that, do the step, because you know this is non-separatable, so you need to do the step for integrating factor. Okay, so you blah 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 the step lah. All right. Substituting method is to make the equation can solve. Okay, you substitute something inside so that you make the equation easier, so that you can solve the equation, either solving by the separatable method or by integrating factor method. Okay, so you set in, you go step 1, step 2, step 3 for the integrating factor, right? So set in the integrating carefully. So if got negative, this one also a trap. A lot of times students didn't notice that the negative is there. It will turn to 1/2. Okay, so the integrating factor is 1/x. Sudah dapat, masukkan inside the formula, set in, then only calculate. Too fast already, because time. I'm rushing for the time. So how to do this? Ask your teacher. If you don't know, find out. Okay? Boleh, integrating factor. Nothing much to talk about. Long question like this, when you do the time, try your best to take out all the information. Right? Take out all information one by one. Increase positive. Put in. Your question this time don't need for you to build the equation given to you, but just be careful of the statement. Okay, so the statement, you do whatever you need to do. If they ask for general form, make sure general form come out first. Okay, in this question, they ask for the general form first, so the general form must come out. If they don't ask, you can directly do the particular form. Okay, so this question, set in, see the answer and put in, calculate. Calculate, put in the number and solve. Okay, all details is inside the question. You just need to read carefully all the details. If you can have highlighter pen or use your pen, at least you need to underline whatever you read inside the question. If not, later you cannot. You want to reread the question again and again, tak cukup masa. Okay, so when this type of question, I suggest once you read the question at least twice, this type of question need to read question at least twice because the question is very long. Every time you read, the details highlight. Then when you want to do the time, you don't need to reread the question. Okay, so I'm going to run through this very fast. So read the question, which year the rabbit died. So you just look around from the details and then you write in. Okay, too fast, I know, but later I give you this, you adjust yourself. But this type of partial question, most probably you are already done. Okay, you're already done because it's too near to exam already. Okay, so I'm going to do Maclaurin series. Maclaurin series, you got this type where you need to use the Maclaurin theorem or you need to use the standard. The standard series are given inside the question paper, so be careful. Use it carefully because it's already answered. The answer is already there. Maclaurin series, take note, you got the implicit differentiation. Do carefully because you do first one wrong, bawah semua salah already. Okay, so you very carefully, if you see implicit inside your different Maclaurin series question, make sure you do carefully. Then sometimes they will talk about the limit. They want you to find the limit or they want you to find the values. See whether they want is the exact value or not. Okay, where are the place that you lose marks? Number 1, the dot. Okay, number 2, the limit part. Number 3, when you bring the value, the time, the derivative, you do wrong. Whether you drop any element or the rule, all the chain rule, all these kind of things, you do wrong. Be careful because this chapter use differentiation. Actually, differentiation and integration, the formula you have need to boom inside your head because you got 2 questions on differentiation and 2 questions for integration. That already half of your marks already. So that 2 chapter must be hardcore inside your head. How to differentiate, hardcore inside your head. How to integrate, hardcore inside your head. Okay? Because these 2 is already 4 questions. Now, the mistake again, you can read about it, and the inequality symbol. Okay, the inequality symbol, please remember. Dot. When you differentiate the time, make sure you have your dot. And when you want to lose the dot, you also must know. Another one for this chapter is the ln. Students once get ln question the time, they forgot the ln can separate into 2 before you differentiate or do work. Okay, so please make sure when you get question for ln, separate. Okay, this time, here I already write, score 0 marks. If you don't show the pemeriksaan, like you put just dot, you didn't derive what you are doing, it is wrong. So be careful. Ensure both the series are expanded carefully. You cannot assume. Okay, cannot assume. Let's see question. Long question. Student always want to expand to power of 3. Must check the question. The expansion, deduce this into ln. Check the question whether you want to do is standard or different theorem. Okay, so for this, I am using the standard series. So the standard series formula given inside the paper, make sure use carefully. See carefully also, they give you to the power of what? If they give you to the power of 3, go fill carefully. Okay, so I feel that must fill. And then if need to minus or adjust, do carefully and don't forget the dot. Okay, another thing is if here negative, and then solve already, your dot come with a negative. If got 1 negative, 1 positive, negative, 1 positive, also must follow. Okay, here also careful, don't use the wrong symbol. Okay, then they ask for the limit when it is approaching 0. So they ask you to deduce. Deduce means use the previous answer. So when you put the time, you identify lah apa yang you ada. So the other one is only this part. So the top here come down. So take the answer, put in, because previous answer is this one. Put in and again, set nicely. Okay? Limit. Deduce the limiting value. So the limiting value of is this. Set in again because they say use the same thing. So set in nicely. Put in the number and okay, must show. Put in the number. If really tak cukup masa, you write in the kosong also boleh. Jangan tak tulis apa-apa. Terus jawapan, oh, -5, like that, tak boleh. Okay? Mesti either if you, because this is like ending of the question already. You don't have time to fill in. Make sure at least you also write in the 0. Okay? Now, for this question 12, I have, they need you to show that dy dx. Now, how to differentiate between the question asking for theorem or standard? Do you know? Just now the question I said I use standard. This question already got differentiation. Already got differentiation, therefore you are using the theorem. They already asked you to differentiate, means they already, you guna theorem lah. Okay? So actually got the key words inside the question to tell you whether you are using the theorem or are you using the standard series. Right? So if they already say differentiate, theorem. If they didn't say anything like just now, standard series. Okay? So you blah blah blah, you buat lah. This, when you do this the time from the first derivative to the second derivative, make sure they will sometimes tell you need to simplify paling simplified form before you go. Okay? Simplify until the most simplified form already before you continue with your element. Don't have a big equation, then terus you go and do second derivative. If not, it's going to be very hard. Okay, obtain until 4. So you go lah until 4. Okay, fourth derivative. All right, so you do until the fourth derivative already. Don't cram them together like what I do here, because I type already. I don't have enough space, so I cram them all together. But when you do the time 1, 1, 1, do nicely 1 by 1. Okay, and if can, between dy dx, d squared y on d cubed y, got space lah 1. Don't go and tulis semua cram together because got so many words. You do them together, I scared you are the one who make careless mistake. You copy the wrong thing to the second one, gone. Okay, so be careful. Then of course, when you put in the 0, because this you are using this, so you need to put in everything inside, and then you need to fill in. Including the 0 also you need to fill in. If they say got 0, you tolong fill in. Do not say, oh, never mind lah, 0, I don't need to write. No, must fill in including the 0. Okay? So, and final answer, ... If we use different method, what do you mean different method? If the question already asked for differentiation, if the question already asked for differentiation, most of the time is they want theorem. If they didn't ask for differentiation, they will explicitly tell you they want theorem inside the question. If they didn't say anything, use the standard. What's the question? For the integration, especially when finding volume area. Baru sampai volume area. Lagging to plus or minus and one of is it complicated? Complicated or not, you have you practice more, might not complicated no. If you don't practice, suddenly they come out complicated no. Hard question or easy question, it's not depends on the question, it depends on you. You do a lot already, then it's easy question. You you don't do any question and then you go and sit for exam, all question also become hard question. Can I take it out, integrate first, and put it? Yeah. If the thing is separate, if you can do things separately. You can do things separately when you put back the time, but of course, when you do things separately, doesn't mean that you do in another paper. You do in the same paper. Okay? You do in the same paper. Do in the same paper as your question paper. Don't do separately, because if you do separately, the pemeriksaan will feel that you are not doing anything. Okay? So the ... make sure can see. Okay, hence, they ask you to solve that. So the word hence means you cannot use standard series here. You must use the question that you had just now and find out what is the connection. So the connection will be this. This is the connection between the question that I have just now and my differentiation. Okay, so you find out the connection, put in, set in, and solve. Okay? You remember, this is integration of your plus C. Your plus C hilang, you punya bye-bye. So careful. Okay? So when you got ... there and your plus C hilang ... then this symbol, that's why people say this symbol, the not almost equals to symbol cannot hilang. So you notice here sudah hilang, here I want to do the time, my symbol sudah tukar. Okay? So this is the part that student selalu hilang markah. So put in the number, blah, 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 put in the number, and then there is my symbol again. And then, or you can write the answer this way or this way. Dua-dua boleh. Okay? If you put inequality, this. If you no put inequality, got ... behind. Okay? Be careful about that. Apa-apa saya letak merah punya, all must be careful. Place you lose mark. Then they say deduce. Deduce also need to use previous answer. So here I'm going to use the previous answer and now I'm going to put in. Don't forget to fill in. This is almost the last last question that you are going to do. So let's say tak cukup masa, you letak kosong. Mesti letak the kosong. Okay, kalau cukup masa, of course you fill in lah. Or near to you, whatever you do, you must show that kosong. The kosong cannot disappear. Okay? So your inequality answer in how many? They say 3 decimal places. So make sure your answer is in 4 significant feature dulu, baru 3 decimal places. You nampak ini symbol dengan ini symbol lain. If your answer in 3 decimal places equals to, mesti letak di decimal places. You put DP also never mind. Here you put inequality for 4 significant feature because you solve here 3 decimal places as the question asks. Okay, be careful how you write your answer. This question they say very clearly. I purposely choose these 3 questions. 1 standard, 1 can see the dy dx. They ask already, means you need to use the theorem. This question they mention inside the question. So they mention, but this question has first 2 non-zero. When they have first 2 non-zero question, you have to like differentiate already, straight away put in the 0. Got question now. Can I directly go to the final answer with 3 decimal places? Best is 4 significant feature, then only 3 decimal places. It's best lah. Because SCAT got A1, A1. Okay? So whether if you got A1, A1, then if you directly got to the answer, you hilang satu A1. So just be careful. Siapa angkat tangan? Siapa mau cakap? No? I continue. Okay, for first 2 non-zero question, if inside the question they say find the first 2 non-zero terms, and then they ask you to use the theorem, make sure every time fill in the kosong first. Okay? Fill in means you first derivative, then put the kosong. Second derivative, put the kosong. Why? Because when they say first, if they tell you to x power of what, you sudah tahu mah. You sudah tahu that the element need to differentiate until where. But when they say first two zero, when you fill in the time, it becomes zero. That is not your answer. Okay? So when if that is not your answer, you still need to differentiate until you get non-zero value. So here you see, you fill in satu kali, zero. Second time, zero. Means x equals to 0 didn't give you the answer for your first two non-zero. When you look at it, your first two only two derivative. Wrong. Okay? You fill in already, you will know, this is only the first number. Then you do the third derivative, the time the kosong come out again. Means you have to do again, the fourth derivative or the fifth derivative, depends. Until you see two number. Like here, as long as it's still 0 when you fill in, still cannot. This is only the first one. So when you nasib baik, you fill in, got 2, stop. Then you fill in the formula. Remember, the 0 also need to fill in. Anything 0 also need to fill in. Okay, fill in already, then write first two non-zero terms. 2. Okay, boleh ya? This one is first two non-zero term. Am I ending? Yeah, almost there. Almost there, sabar. Limit. They say finally they ask, hence means you previously answer. Don't go and redo again. Set in, calculate. If got ln got power, bawa turun. If ln got power, bawa turun. Set in, ... Get the answer, finish. Okay? If you do limit this one, do carefully. Fill in the number. Limit, don't disappear halfway. As long as this limit is still there. So before you hantar your paper the time, all the limit question double check because I scared later you miss. You put, kalau lupa, just put the thing and rewrite. As long as the number not yet go in, the limit still have to be there. That's why I say, be careful. Okay, last one. I still got 10 minutes. Don't know can habis or not. I will go super speed. Easy. This chapter easy, right? This chapter easy. I just tell you what is important. So you got Newton-Raphson, you got trapezium rule, and then you got a question that involve roots. So make sure question involve roots, you sometimes need to sketch graph. So be careful about the sketching. Then you must know about Simpson rule. Okay, where make mistake? The mistake is where you don't know what is ordinand. You don't know what is your n, silap. Your Simpson rule, when you do not know which one is the y, the odd value, which one is the even value, you fill in wrong, salah. Your Newton-Raphson, very, very careful because Newton-Raphson got a lot of steps. So you do not straight away press calculator. You must fill in at least 2 or 3. Selamat. Okay? You must write down manually at least 2 or 3. Then the decimal places also. If the question asks for 3 decimal places and you calculate with 3 decimal places, then wrong already. You have to add at least 1 more or 2 more, depends what your teacher teach you. Okay? Some teacher teach at 1 more decimal places. Some teacher teach at 2 more decimal places from the question. So it's up to your teacher. Apa-apa your cikgu ajar, follow. Okay? Your cikgu pandai. Now, when you talk about roots, sometimes they will ask you, just now I say already, I will give to your teacher or to the, I will give to Shawn. Nanti pandai-pandai lah dia buat Google Drive and give you all. Ask your teacher lah. I will give your teacher. But I don't know whether your teacher is in my group or not. I have a Telegram group with all the teachers. Okay? If not, go to my YouTube channel, find me lah, PM teacher. Can I have the notes, please? Okay? So, find me there. All right. I'm sorry lah, my YouTube channel is not active now because I'm like preparing the notes for the new syllabus for my student. Okay? So, you see me here lah. All right. Roots. For roots, you have to you have to say it is opposite sign or it must be continuous. Yeah, what the function has to be continuous first before you can talk about the roots. So your teacher sudah ajar you lah. So it has to be continuous first. Then the Newton-Raphson method got a formula. Make sure you follow the formula. Newton-Raphson fails. You auto kena tahu kenapa it fails. So here I have some notes why Newton-Raphson fails, because lately they like to ask already why Newton-Raphson fail. So siapa yang tak tahu, pergi ambil tahu. Okay? Siapa tak tahu, pergi ambil tahu tentang why Newton-Raphson can fail. Okay, then trapezium rule, you must know about overestimate, underestimate. Kalau tak tahu, please ambil tahu, because the question sure will ask you if sketch rate, especially if the question got sketch, they will ask for overestimate, underestimate. And then your Simpson rule must know which one is odd number, even number, because Simpson rule got h divided by 3. One side is odd, one side is even when you fill in the time. Okay, so all this you must get to know how, and then when you want to talk about overestimate and underestimate, they will always ask you for concave upwards, concave downwards. So itu pun you kena ingat. So every time when they ask you why overestimate, must have this word concave upwards and concave downwards. That is the key. That's the key words. Okay, so you must know about the concave upwards or concave downwards, and then why is it overestimate. You must tell inside the tell the pemeriksaan. Ordinates and intervals, stripes, all kena tahu, because you get the wrong number inside your n, then you calculate the time akan salah. Both trapezium rule and Simpson rule. So make sure you know ordinate macam mana, stripes macam mana, interval macam mana. Okay, so this one please get to know. Jangan buta-buta hilang markah. Alright, calculator, when you do Newton-Raphson the time, you must know when is the stopping criteria. So when you work on your stopping criteria the time, please write clearly about your stopping criteria. Ini ya cikgu sudah ajar. Okay? Every time you talk about concavity, you must talk when you talk about underestimate or overestimate, you must talk about concavity. Mesti punya. If not, you just like, oh, this one is overestimate. You cakap saja tak ada guna. Use concavity test to help you prove to the pemeriksaan. Okay? Cakap saja tak ada guna. Alright, so here I got question 14, has a root between this and this. So when they say show that this has a root between 5 and 6, intermediate theorem must come in. So you tahu kan what is intermediate theorem? When you do this the time, ini bigger than 0, less than 0 must write. Keywords, opposite sign must write. Continuous must write. What interval must write. Okay? All this, or if you don't want to write opposite sign, you want to use like this, pun boleh. All this must write before you conclude there is a root between this and this. Ini. Or you want to use ini, can. But this word must write. Okay, must see clearly continuous. Because not continuous cannot have roots in between. Boleh? Okay, so, and then here one more thing I have to tell. Ini tak ada fx. So when you want to use fx, tolong letak let. Okay, don't simply just use the equation to find. Because benda tak bagi, kena let. Anything don't give, have to let. Anything you need to fill in, have to fill in. Anything you want to conclude, like this one bigger than 0, this one less than 0, you don't assume the pemeriksaan no. All write clearly. Don't buta-buta hilang markah. Okay, when you do the Newton-Raphson method, do already the F n and xn fill inside the formula. Once you fill that inside the formula already, you have to set your calculator. Okay, you set your calculator and then put in the number. At least 2 or 3 kali untuk selamat. And when you do the time, this question says 3 decimal places. You can do 4, 5, 6 decimal places. Jangan pergi sampai 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 6 decimal places, selamat. Okay? So, depends on your teacher, whatever your teacher teach you. But the pemeriksa will need to see from X1, if let's say here you use 5 decimal places, please fill in 5 decimal places. Here is the question. There. Shawn already put the question inside the link. You can click on it. Okay, so your decimal places must put in here. Exactly the same. Then when you when you do twice already or 3 times, depends on what your teacher teach you. Ada orang yang kata 3 kali, ada yang kata 2 kali, but 2 kali is the minimal. Alright? Because they want to see exactly this number on here, then only you can press calculator. If when you go 3 decimal places, you have to tell the pemeriksa, I got my roots, I got 3 decimal places. You can write like this or like this. No problem. Okay? Isi paling kurang 2-3 kali. Kalau ada masa, because this is last question already. Ada masa 3 kali. Patut busuk-busuk 2 kali. Okay, because they want to see from here transform to here. Understand? Oh, good. Boleh? Boleh, Okay, next. Another type Newton-Raphson question is they ask you to sketch graph. Okay, using Newton-Raphson method, they ask you to sketch graph. So you make sure your graph sketch follow what I say just now lah, because I don't want to repeat again. So follow the rules, the coordinates, the asymptote, semua cantik-cantik susun. Okay, then you tell the pemeriksa mana ada points. So that is the point that you have. Alright, so this question, the X0 already given to you. So the first approximation, they already given to you. So you follow the rules and then you fill in, put in the number, then bingo, you will get the approximation. Okay, you get the approximation, fill in at least twice, then you can press calculator. Kena fill in at least twice. X1, X2, X3. If they give you X0, then you write X1, X2, X3. So the X, after the second time you fill in already, this number and this number that you fill in must be exactly the same. If the question say